Just created this space because our truth isn't performance, it's power. It provides us strength. And Leilani's story is like so many other women's stories who feel alone, scared, and pushed to their limit during their most vulnerable times. Thank you, Leilani, for sharing your story. Her and baby boy are still here today. And thank you, Free and Just, for allowing her and myself the platform to share her story. So in terms of creativity, when I see the white creators doing the lip syncing or doing the get ready with me to go and get matcha. I'm sorry. It's like a lot of these creators all do the same content and their content will get blown up a lot quicker than the hilarious black or brown creator doing a story time.
And you know what this is like too? This is exactly like when men compare themselves to what women are doing. Like when women, they do their, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and dance and twerk and shit like that and da-da-da-da, I know I get 1 million views, or I'll start on OnlyFans, get this amount of money, make quick money. And then men, they're building themselves, they're playing the games, grinding on the game, they're doing reaction videos, they're just talking, but it's a slow grind, slow and steady grind. But it's like that. It's like a man comparing himself to, bruh, I'm doing this, I'm actually giving valuable information or entertaining people for hours on end, but this chick is dancing or singing, and she's getting how many million views? It's exactly like that. So you can go do this, a comparison with race, gender, economic status. You could say, oh, I ain't got a lot of money, but who's fucking like nepotism? Oh, since they got, man, since Patrick Mahomes' kids, since their dad is Patrick Mahomes or their brother is Patrick Mahomes and they're on that, that's how they got their following. You can do it about anything. But my thing is, why stop worrying about other people? Just worry about what you're doing and what you're doing for yourself. And worry about your own purpose and your journey. Your journey is not their journey. Their journey is not your journey.
Creating fashion content, creating educating content. Or heck, say they are vlogging and getting their matcha for the day. There's a lot more excitement or intent put into it. But they get half the reach or don't get the same opportunities as their white counterparts. And I really think TikTok, Instagram, and even YouTube, I love you, YouTube, because you have helped me so much in my career, obviously, but I feel as if all of these platforms tend to push whiteness a lot more. It's like the algorithm favors aesthetics and softness and quiet versus bold, brilliant, and fun and creative. But isn't that
I think that's her algorithm, because mine has no. Y'all literally seen my algorithm. My algorithm is filled with nothing but melanated women, melanated kings, some white people, and shit, even some fucking Asians and Middle Eastern. My shit don't put, bruh. Literally, on my regular feed, bruh, I see Kai, Aiden, Academics, Charleston White, and other fucking $1 million worth of game, 19 keys. YouTube don't do that shit. They don't push. Obviously, in my own algorithm, they don't push white people on me. They don't push white people on me. Probably the most white that they push on me is Family Guy and American Dad. And that's because I just watch it to go to sleep. Well, listen to it to go to sleep. That's it. Like, nah.
what these platforms claim they want their creators to do on their said platforms? Yeah, I guess only if you're a white woman from Calabasas. I don't know. Okay, so I love to cook, but let's be honest. Sometimes the way my schedule is set up, I just need my dinner to be easy, but still look like I put some work into it. That's where everything. So now let's get into brand trips and events that happen and who exactly is invited. So we already have spoken about so many times Tarte's Dubai trip, and honestly all of Tarte's trips, where they constantly either are treating the black influencers or creatives that they bring on their trips horribly or not as well as their white creators, or they just flat out don't invite them at all. We can talk about that for days on end. Tarte can honestly have its own video if we really want to talk about how they typically don't favor their black and brown influencers and creatives. But think about Revolve festivals. Revolve festivals, you always just see white or palatable creators. You don't really see creators that are black. You'll see a little sprinkling and tokens of them, but there's not a lot. Think of Aloe. The Aloe brand brand is super white. They really cater to their white audience over their black and brown audience. But if they do invite those black or brown creatives, those black or brown creatives are typically more of the palatable creatives. What do I mean when I say this? Well, I'll say this much. Think of when you guys see the black girl luxury aesthetic, which are like the girls that do Pilates and they wear the pink and they have the bows in their hair. And once again, they have the matcha, they're doing yoga, they have the aesthetics. Their apartment looks like every person on the internet with the beige and the whites and the blacks. Yes, that is who they will most likely invite. They're not going to invite the creative that is really good at storytelling or the creative that is really funny. They really do. I'll speak from my personal experience. So I've been in Atlanta for almost almost 3 years now? No, almost 2 years now. Okay, I'm like aging myself. Almost 2 years now, and I've literally only got invited to a handful of events. And I always found that shocking. So I'm like, why am I not getting invited to these events? Because I'll see like my peers, they're getting invited to these events, and they have a much smaller following than me. But from what I've noticed is that from their content, which this has nothing to do with them, this is no shade thrown at anybody, but they have more of that matcha loving, Pilates princess, soft life aesthetic vibe about them. Now, I'm sure some of y'all will say, well, Tony, that's literally your vibe, because you guys have said this before, because I like to wear makeup and I wear pink and I wear dresses. That's very true. But the content that I put out, I'm talking about this. These brands aren't thinking about inviting a diverse amount of creators. Not every creator is a vlog matcha loving girl, okay? I do love my matcha though. I do drink matcha. My sister put me on years ago. No, I did not follow the trend. She's been a matcha lover. I tried it. I liked it. And then now I buy matcha. Maybe that's the one thing I did get a part of the trend with, is that I did buy matcha in my house because I was buying matcha so much outside. I said, I'm gonna just buy some matcha, and the box was like, I think $30, and I'm saving a lot of money because matcha be $7 to $9. So yeah, I did that much because I started trying different flavors and seeing what I liked through that. But I say this all to say is that, I mean, a lot of brands tend to only want the creator that is more digestible, should I say. And with Atlanta being a predominantly black city, you will see more black creatives at these events, but a lot of them are carbon copies of one another. Like, they all have the same exact aesthetic. And I've always said this, I'm like, wouldn't you want more diversity? Because there's so many content creators in Atlanta. Like, Atlanta has so many creatives that have really massive followings, but I always see the same girls get invited to these events.
This is what I can't say about this too. Sorry, I'm starting to sweat. But if you're so worried about your counterparts who are matcha loving, pink dress wearing individuals, if you're worried about going to those events, why don't you just start doing it then? Why don't you just be another carbon copy and just, or better yet, don't even be a carbon copy. Be a sleeper cell. Why don't you just be a sleeper cell? On here, you just do your shit, but then on like Instagram, YouTube, and shit like that, you just be a carbon copy. Why don't you just do that? Why are you worried about going to those events? Like, I'm sure they're cool, but I mean, there's a reason they didn't invite you to those events. Why are you worried about why they didn't invite you? Why don't you focus on your content, getting it better and gaining more of a following organically, and then they start inviting you to events, and then you'll have the freedom to say, nah, I don't want to do it. I mean, y'all didn't do it, y'all didn't give it to me then, so why would I want to do it now? Why? I feel like I'm broken record. I know after this video, I am gonna have to use the bathroom. So.
And they also have significantly smaller followings compared to, like, I guess the Jada Waiters or the Des Diors that are considered content creators in the city. So girl, no, I'm not dragging the women that I said are very similar aesthetics that get invited to these events. I'm more so speaking on the brands and what they consider and deem as a safe creator when it comes to black creators. It's like they only celebrate and invite one kind of black woman when black women are so diverse. And a great example of this is when when a creator by the name of Clark, who I absolutely adore, so this woman deemed Clark as a palatable black creator, and she got dragged, and Clark dragged her as well. I also want to add in that the creator I'm about to show you was not the exact creator that Clark was talking about. That creator deleted the video on TikTok after it went viral, but after she made that video, it became a whole public discourse of people talking about whether or not Clark is palatable, or whether or not Clark has privilege to some sort when it comes to her being a content creator. So take a look at what one person that created discourse had to say in terms of Clark being more of a palatable black creator.
I think that Clark is a wonderful example of a black woman. Wonderful. I think that she's great for young black girls to see. I think that her platform deserves to be seen by all black girls so that they can see what they are able to accomplish when they put their mind to it. I just think she has an amazing platform. I like her, right? But when it comes to the conversation that we're having about her being palatable to white people, yeah, she definitely is. She definitely is, but it's not her fault, right? It ain't nothing that she's doing or going out of her way to do. It just is what it is. When it comes to aesthetically how she looks, she fits into the safe black category, right? Again, that ain't no fault of her own. It's not even really a negative thing, but it's true, right? She has a look that, you know, it's not intimidating to black. Her look is not intimidating to white people. It's very safe. So she can cross over to different demographics, right? You got people who may not have as much money as her, may not be in the same social class as her, but they can look up to her. Then you got the girls who are in the same social class and she's relatable to them. Then you have people from other races who a lot of her accolades stand out to them, and so they follow her for different reasons, right? There's a lot of different reasons on why people would follow her, but we're not gonna sit up here and act as if she does not fall into a safe black category as where other black people may not when it comes to brands wanting to work with them.
You guys never get tired of saying dumb shit on the internet, and it's crazy to me, but like, listen, you do you. I do think the conversation about the racial pay gap that exists in the creator economy is really, really important. So I'm gonna help you out by letting you know the reason why I have a 7-figure business and bought a $1.5 million house at 23 is not because I'm palatable to white people. I made the most money I've ever made last year in 2024, where every other fucking video I swear was about the election or about white people voting for Trump or poor white people, racism, fucking white influencers saying the N-word. Like, I've never shied away from any content or topic that's important to me as a black woman, but I've still been able to make 7 figures because I have been absolutely fucking exceptional since the first day I came on this app. Let us not forget, when you guys were first introduced to me on this app in 2021, I was taking 19 credit hours at Columbia. I had to petition the university to even be able to take that many hours because it is not sustainable and typically not healthy and not recommended or even fucking allowed for students to take that many hours when they're not working a full-time job, let alone also having all the shit outside of school that I had. I was doing my fashion law internship 3 days a week. I was the only other person in the legal department for actually most of my internship, me and the general counsel, because the other attorneys had left for the majority of the time I was there. I was president of the Criminal Justice Coalition at Columbia, had other extracurriculars I was a part of. I was also working with the healthcare tech startup that was based in Nashville that I took you guys on like a few business trips with that. I was working on my own fucking tech startup that I had with my best friend Christy. Like, we're now picking it back up, but at that time we were like applying to incubators, we were receiving grants for it. Like, we were in accelerators, like literally very, very, very much building a fucking business on top of everything else that I was doing. And then I also started selling my own planners that I designed, created myself, distributed, created my website. Everything I've ever done, I've done completely on my own. I've never had someone make a website for me, do any like editing for me. I write a fucking script for every video that I post, like all my vlogs. The reason why it's like, this kind of seems like a story, like, wow, my favorite show is on is because it's fucking scripted. Running a fucking network over here, bitch. And even with all of that, I still found the time to go out on dates. Like, I created an entire series. No one had ever made a date in the life vlog until I made the first one. That blew up and took off. Other people have been biting my shit for years since then. Like, that is how I cemented my place as a New York City influencer. It was not trying to be palatable to white people, and whether you think that I am or not, the fact of the matter is I'm one of the only creators who even talks about the sensitive issues that I do and have over the last year when I made the most money I've ever made as a creator. So it's not even like up for debate. Well, yeah, it's just because she, you know, only does this, or she doesn't talk about anything that's serious. Like, other black creators do this, none of that. And the racially ambiguous shit, all that, leave it at the fucking door. The conversation is not about, well, this black influencer is making this because of that. It's about the fact that all of the black New York City influencers, all of the black influencers, period, have to be extraordinarily exceptional to get the certain platform, the numbers, the teams, the managers that our white counterparts get, who have even less followers than we do or less interesting content or who are doing less work, simply by virtue of just being white and being themselves and being the predominant culture and just everything that is like fucking glamorized and platformed online. Leaving ignorant comments like this is part of the problem, because I need everybody to understand every fucking Black creator has to be extraordinarily exceptional to get the same opportunities or even be maybe recognized for remotely the same fucking opportunities as our white counterparts who are not similarly exceptional.
I want to play devil's advocate here.
I'm gonna go ahead and say what I was gonna say, and I'll see what you gotta say. But with everything she said, well, all the shit she said, her 19 credit hours, with her going on, I think she said she was in law school, her starting up her own businesses, her doing incubators to get grants, and she was also doing her vlogs and shit like that. You know what she never once said? She never once said that she was comparing what she was doing to what her best friend was doing. She never said that she was, damn, this person's working hard, so I need to work harder. She was working at her own pace, doing what she needed to do as her own person. And she still, she did, I ain't gonna lie, excuse me. I thought I did a lot in college. She did a lot in college. I'm not even gonna fucking cap. But that's not me comparing. That's me just saying, wow, that's crazy. And not only that, she still had her own TikTok and YouTube. So yeah, when people say that she's only famous because she's palatable to white people, it's fucking cat. That's cat. And here's the thing, as well, nigga. I'm sure when I get famous, I'm already famous, but when I get even more famous, I'm sure they'll be saying the same thing. I'm sure they say that shit about Cop. He's very palatable to the white audience, so that's why he got the McDonald's deal. That's why he has the Nike deal. No, nigga, because we're extraordinary and we trust in our process, and we don't worry about what other people are getting, and not worrying about what I'm gonna get. I know I'm gonna get it when I'm supposed to have it. And guess what? Okay, if I am palatable to white people, okay, I'm just being myself. How about you take a page out of my book and be yourself and stop worrying about what I'm doing? Do you, and your shit will come. Your shit won't come when you're worrying about the other person and comparing. And also, Clark, not even gonna lie, I know she said she's going on a date vlog. I don't know if she's married or not. She beautiful. Clark, you beautiful. Don't worry, I'll be up there soon. I will be, up there. We gonna meet. We gonna cross paths, and then I'm gonna rock your world, and then we gonna go ahead and what's already meant ain't got to be said. I mean, what's understood ain't got to be said.
This is not to say I think Clark is even in the slightest white adjacent. I don't think that Clark is whitewashed. I don't believe that Clark is at the level of an Alex Earl in terms of opportunities that she gets. But Clark gets a lot of opportunities, and I'm sure she's incredibly successful. But I also don't want to demean the fact that she is incredibly smart. She's educated. She's beautiful. She's inspirational. She has all these things as a Black woman, and she is a fully Black woman. But when it comes to brands, there is a very much so particular kind of Black woman that these brands will work with. And I personally believe that Clark matches that aesthetic. And same with the Monet McMichael. I mean, I personally wouldn't even deem Monet Black, though she is half Black. She's mixed race, obviously. But I never knew she was Black until she put it in her bio. I was like, oh, I didn't know she was Puerto Rican and Black. But when I say this, she still is considered more likely to gain success on the platform and make a lot of money because they are like kind of softer compared to other creators, Black creators that do too much, who we'll get into a little bit later. So
yeah, it got to be more specific, because when she's talking about when she said 50 aesthetic, I'm still trying to figure out what she mean by 50 aesthetic, and like what she talking about doing too much, because there are a lot of melanated females who like these are talented and creative, they get the shit that they get. And also, my thing is too, right? I also am believing that you're trying to force not just yourself, but you're trying to force the huge melanated content creators, trying to force them into white spaces. And you want to be accepted. It's like when black people are trying to go to the Oscars, but they're not giving a fuck about the BET Awards. Worry about the Grammys. What about the NAACP? Why are you looking for white people's validation? Like, why if anything, you got a big platform, why don't you go to another brand or a straight black brand and help build that up? A black shoulder build that up. Why don't you go to your fans and say, hey, I will wear if you guys are starting a fashion brand or something like that, send me your clothes. I got this P.O. box. I'll wear it and I'll brand your shit out. So you can help build other people instead of worrying about why you're not getting the brand deals. Because here's the thing. Once you start helping people brand and grow their business, you're a brand ambassador right there. That's a mutual investment. And then you're also building your fan base as well. Instead of wanting to be accepted to these bigger brands that, as you said, they only have their eye for certain archetypes of black females or black men. If you know that, then why are you still trying to force your way into that? There's nothing worse than to force your way into something, because then it's like you're shaking up the cosmic thing, but it's not. I don't know if you're shaking it up, but are you doing it for the right reasons? Because like, it'll be more natural if you help build up your fan base. Well, I mean, help your fan base build up their shit, and then other brands start saying that, and then they go ahead and allow you to come through, and then you can tell your testimony. And when you're telling your testimony, nigga, you can. Sorry, I didn't mean to call her a nigga, but you melanated queen, you can go ahead and if you ask them, or you can address this issue that you've seen, you can address this to them, and then it'll spark a conversation, and that'll move into a movement, and then other black people who aren't deemed as the palatable black people, they can come in. So you say, the palatable black people. I mean, they just don't want no nigga shit, which I understand. I don't want no nigga shit either. But then I highly doubt that these people are scared of black creatives. I highly doubt that.